Urgent. You know the feeling. A passive-aggressive text lands, heat flares in your chest, and your fingers start flying across the keyboard to defend yourself. Applicable to texts, strategic silence acts as a filter. When you stop paying the emotional toll, the other person's motive, the drive to regain control, becomes visible through their reaction. Rule 1 is simple. Bait needs fuel. A sarcastic comment or a passive-aggressive jab is a hook designed to pull a reaction. That reaction provides the fuel necessary for the manipulator to continue the cycle. This timeline illustrates your new default response. When you feel that heat in your chest, apply a hard boundary. No ask, no answer. Otherwise, responding to a jab creates a messy feedback loop. Instead, neutralize the bait by answering solely with facts. Rule 2 addresses the next phase of the trap. Never explain under pressure. The act of over-explaining your reasons or your schedule automatically places you in a weak, defensive frame. State your answer exactly once. Say, "That's my answer," then stop talking. Silence forces the other person to deal with the boundary rather than negotiating with your excuses. Starving the bait forces a reveal. Respectful people will naturally adjust to the boundary, while those seeking control will escalate their tactics to regain their lost influence. Escalation brings us to Rule 3, control access. Drama survives on your instant availability. The anxiety you feel when you see a notification is the tether they use to keep you engaged. Use intentional delay to cut that tether. By replying on your own timeline, you transition from being a public resource to a scarce commodity. Rule 4 focuses on the delivery. Respond to facts, ignore tone. Manipulators use sarcasm or guilt to shift your mood before you even process the information in the message. Address only the logistical reality. If a message is laced with sarcasm about your performance, ask only for the deadline. Ignoring the emotional spike prevents them from training you to respond to their outbursts. Rule 5 prepares you for the inevitable. Let escalation expose them. When you deny a manipulator the reaction they crave, they will often crank up the pressure to see if you will fold. Manage that pressure using the de-escalation ladder. You begin soft. "We can talk later." If they push, you move to firm. "I'm not doing this right now." If the attack continues, you use the exit. "I'm stepping away." This sequence functions as a diagnostic tool. The friction separates peers who respect boundaries from manipulators who demand submission. Rule 6 stops the cycle of return. No closure, no cleanup. The internal urge to send one final message to make them understand is a psychological trap that pulls you back into the argument. Manipulators use the promise of clearing the air to restart the feedback loop. Refusing to provide closure or a final explanation shatters the cycle and preserves your energy. This leads to the final step: remove access. When someone acts kind after a period of disrespect, they are often attempting a reset, testing to see if the old dynamic still works. You end the dynamic by reducing response speed, restricting emotional access, and if necessary, removing contact. You are the one who determines who earns the reward of your attention. The manipulative chain relies on stealing your attention to move your emotions and control your decisions. By breaking the first link, the entire system of control collapses. Power comes from structuring your life so that disrespect cannot reach you. When you stop defending your boundaries and simply start living them, your mental bandwidth returns to your own choices. That resulting clarity is the evidence that the system works.